Airbnb has some major problems, and it's not just one fix or a leaky faucet that they can just plug up. It's a widespread set of problems that affect the foundation of the company, but there are some solutions. So here are some recommendations on how Airbnb can fix itself. Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by talking about the accommodation service everyone loves to hate, Airbnb. Now, I've made videos talking about how they rip you off with cleaning fees, and the news from Airbnb just keeps getting worse and worse. From discrimination against people of color, who statistically have a harder time successfully booking properties, to price gouging in Mexico City, which has prompted residents to protest, to users being banned from the site for incorrect background check results. It's gotten pretty bad in general, and using Airbnb is such a hit or miss experience that I try to avoid using it now when I'm traveling. I'm sure a lot of you too are looking at hotels or other alternatives because they often have better service, competitive prices, and a lot less of the weird random trouble that can come from an Airbnb. In fact, I came up with the idea for this video because of a recent bad experience that I had. I needed to book a few days in Istanbul as a stopgap between apartments and ended up paying a very overpriced $1,300 for a week's stay. But when I got to the apartment, it was unbelievably dirty. There was hair all over the bathroom, rotting food in the kitchen, and black mold on the walls. As soon as I was able to book alternative accommodation, I notified Airbnb and the owner that I would be leaving, why I was leaving, provided them with photos, and requested a refund. And to be fair, I did spend one night in that apartment while I was making alternative arrangements, so I didn't even ask for a full refund. I just asked for a refund for the nights that I didn't actually stay in the apartment. So you might be wondering why I didn't just cancel the apartment right away. That's because with almost any Airbnb booking, you don't know the reaction you're going to get if you try to cancel early. The owner might have gotten pissed off and thrown me out, or locked me out, or who knows. Airbnb, because of the way their system works, basically puts you into a forced negotiation with the owner, mediated by Airbnb, if you want to try to get a refund. And this process is usually over email through their customer support center, since many countries don't have a local office number that you can call. In the end, my $1,100 refund was rejected, and the owner offered $800. And why? I don't know. Basically, Airbnb told me at this point that I had to either take it or leave it. So I took it. I had no other recourse, no other option. At that point, I had to take that $800. Did I overpay for an apartment that I shouldn't have paid for? Yes. Am I the only person who's had these kind of horrible experiences on Airbnb? No. Have you probably had similar experiences using Airbnb? I'm guessing the answer is yes. You can let me know down in the comments if you have any of your own Airbnb horror stories, but it doesn't end there. Since then, Airbnb has tried to counter these instant regret situations with what they call air cover. It basically gives you a refund for reservations canceled by owners within 30 days of your stay, and if the place is dirty, you can report it within 72 hours. And yeah, it's just reporting it within 72 hours. They don't mention any kind of refunds or protections, and it's a very tiny start on the part of Airbnb, but if they wanted to actually make air cover useful, here's what they can do. First, offer full refunds or alternative accommodation if owners cancel within 90 days of booking. Right now, it's only 30 days out, and in some cities during peak tourism season, it can be really hard to find another Airbnb as an alternative, or there might be an event like a concert or the World Cup where 30 days out finding alternative accommodation might be close to impossible. A refund for an Airbnb isn't going to do you much good if you can't go to the event that you had planned for, but already have paid for flights and event tickets, taken time off of work, and so on. The second thing Airbnb can do to make air cover actually useful for its guests is to offer you a full refund if you cancel within 24 hours after showing up at a place in cases where it's dirty or it's not well prepared for a guest. Obviously, you'll still have to collect the evidence, photos, and videos for Airbnb to review, but if there's legitimately an issue, it shouldn't require a fight with Airbnb over it. And a simple refund of the cleaning fee just won't cut it. And if we're talking about Airbnb cleaning fees, we might as well get those fixed too. First, Airbnb should set standard cleaning fees based on a home's size and unique features like how many bathrooms there are, location, and other specifics to an individual property. Rather than letting owners just arbitrarily pick whatever cleaning fee they want, those cleaning fees set by Airbnb should directly be charged to hosts. Airbnb can simply charge a host a flat $25 or $50 or some other appropriate fee. Then owners can include that into their rental pricing. An Airbnb's cleaning fee for a specific property should be listed on the booking so everything is transparent to you, the consumer. Another thing Airbnb can do to discourage dirty or improperly prepared homes is to fine the owners when they don't do things right. See, right now, as it is, if you arrive at a dirty Airbnb, you might get a partial refund. Chances are a lot smaller that you'll get a full refund, and that's all assuming that you can find alternative accommodation. But Airbnb still gets their fees, and at worst, the homeowner just breaks even, but there's no monetary penalty for the hosts themselves. In fact, that same nightmare Airbnb, which spurred this video, is still listed on the site. Maybe they've cleaned up their act, or maybe they just had a really bad day, but in any event, there should be a penalty against the hosts and a strike system. The way the strike system could work is that anytime there's a valid complaint against a host or a listing, there should be a strike assigned. And those strikes should be listed in the reviews and under the host's account. That way you would have the user reviews, but also be able to see how and many times disciplinary action was taken against a particular place or host by Airbnb. Right now, the review sections are usually filled with a few good short reviews and maybe the occasional long 300-word horror story. It's hard to know what to make out of those reviews because the others, the majority of people were positive, so perhaps you can discount that bad one. But a strike on the listing or the host would show that disciplinary action has been taken by Airbnb and that that place has been dinged for cleanliness or maybe not being properly prepared or maybe a lot of cancellations in a short period of time. So a lot of people couldn't book the place or they booked it and they got canceled on. All those things would incentivize hosts to actually do a much better job and it would protect you as the consumer. Airbnb should also incentivize owners by giving the option to do a video or 360 tours of a listing. It would be valuable to people to hear the owner's voice, even if they don't want to appear on camera, and explain why they listed a particular property, what some of the features are, and what makes it stand out. Also, with video, you can get a better idea of what the space looks like. It's a lot less easy to manipulate videos than photos and makes the experience more personable. I mean, we've all seen those photos on Airbnb that are extremely overexposed and oversaturated. And then you show up in the place and it's a lot darker than it is. Things aren't as bright as they are. And those photos just kind of, we know what Airbnb photos look like. There's almost like a specific look for them now. And they don't always, or they rarely reflect the actual place once you arrive. See, when Airbnb first started, it actually had some real perks. First, there was the novelty of staying in a place that actually felt like home, that was a little bit more competitively priced with hotels, and that was a little bit different and unique. But since then, hotels have adapted, and now they're more competitively priced. They have a more home-like feel. They're offering more perks, they're offering more incentives and little creature comforts inside the hotels to get you back from Airbnb. And the way Airbnb is running their business right now, hotels are looking like a much, much better option than they used to just a few years ago. Hotels in general are also better regulated. You know what you're going to get at a hotel for the most part. Cleaning is consistent depending on the type of hotel. And there's a front desk where you can get service face to face or maybe just an extra roll of toilet paper when needed. Airbnbs, on the other hand, are being bought up by investors looking to make money and by corporations who can buy a lot of homes and apartments, set prices, and then raise housing for everyone, local or guest. So how do we get out of this? Does Airbnb survive? Probably yes, but there are a lot of other apartment sites, a lot of other rental sites, which I've reviewed and I'll link to in the description below if you want to check those out, and a lot of great hotels around the world that are really offering different experiences, giving you better prices, and just overall giving you a much better alternative to Airbnb for the time being. And I don't want to blanket and say all hosts are bad. All hosts are not bad on Airbnb. A lot of them are actually really good, but it's up to Airbnb to regulate which one of those hosts get pushed up to the top and which bad hosts get knocked off the site, or at least make it transparent to you, the consumer, so you can see which is a good host and which is not a good host. I know they have the super host system where they show you this is a super host, but again, that doesn't give you the details that would really make the experience better for you as the consumer and also protect you as their customer. Airbnb has gone from that agile, individual based startup to the big lumbering corporation, but without any of the things that come with being a big lumbering corporation, like regulations, like standardization of their services, or some of the things that you can come to expect with a big hotel brand, for example, with a big hotel chain. With Airbnb, every host is totally different. You don't know what you're going to get. You can have a great experience one time and get a bad experience the next time. Whereas when you're staying at a hotel, you typically know, when it's the same brand, for example, you typically know what you're going to get every time you stay there. And this is not to say that all hotels are good or that big hotel chains are great or anything like that. I'm just saying that there are some things that Airbnb can learn from those big corporations if they want to act like a big corporation. And if they want to be the agile startup, the sort of new kid on the block, then they can really learn a lot from what actually got them off the ground in the first place. Those are some of my suggestions on how Airbnb can improve and fix itself. But if you have any thoughts or feedback or suggestions of your own, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week, and I'll see you in the next video.